Have you ever started something new with incredible excitement, only to lose all motivation a few days later? Maybe it was going to the gym, learning a new skill, starting a business, reading a book, or finally chasing a dream you've been thinking about for years. At first, you couldn't stop thinking about it, but somehow that excitement slowly disappeared. And then came the question almost everyone asks, what's wrong with me? The surprising answer is, probably nothing. Today, we're exploring the psychology behind why motivation fades after starting something new. And by the end of this video, you'll understand that losing motivation isn't a personal failure. It's simply how the human brain works. One of the biggest reasons motivation disappears is because your brain loves novelty. Whenever you begin something new, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical associated with anticipation, curiosity, and reward. That's why the first few days feel exciting. Everything feels fresh, unpredictable, and full of possibility. But the brain quickly adapts. Once the activity becomes familiar, that initial dopamine surge naturally decreases. The task hasn't become less important, it's simply become less novel. Many people mistake this normal biological change as a sign they've lost passion. In reality, they've only lost the excitement of the beginning. Another powerful reason is that imagination is usually easier than reality. Before you start, your mind imagines success, progress, and achievement. But once the real work begins, you discover boredom, mistakes, repetition, and slow improvement. The brain suddenly realizes that reaching the reward requires much more effort than expected. And effort is something the brain naturally tries to conserve. There's another psychological pattern called the motivation-action gap. Most people believe motivation comes first and action comes second. But psychologists have found that the opposite is often true. Action creates motivation. The hardest part is simply starting when you don't feel like it. Once you begin moving, your brain gradually creates the motivation you were waiting for. Perfectionism also quietly destroys motivation. Many people expect immediate progress. When reality doesn't match those expectations, frustration replaces excitement. Instead of celebrating small improvements, they focus only on how far they still have to go. Eventually, disappointment becomes stronger than motivation. Your environment also plays a much bigger role than you might think. If your surroundings constantly distract you with notifications, social media, entertainment, or endless choices, your brain naturally follows the easiest source of instant reward. Compared to those quick dopamine hits, long-term goals suddenly feel slow and difficult. The problem isn't always your discipline. Sometimes your environment is working against you. Another hidden reason is decision fatigue. Every day, your brain makes thousands of decisions. By the time you finally sit down to work on your new habit, your mental energy may already be running low. It's not that you've become lazy. Your brain is simply tired from making decisions all day. There's also something psychologists call emotional resistance. Sometimes the goal itself isn't the problem. The real obstacle is the fear hidden underneath it. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being judged, or even fear that your hard work won't actually change your life. Without realizing it, your subconscious mind creates excuses to protect you from those uncomfortable emotions. Ironically, the closer you get to meaningful change, the stronger this resistance can become. Your identity also affects your motivation. If deep down you still see yourself as someone who never finishes anything, your brain constantly tries to return to that familiar identity. People naturally behave in ways that match the story they believe about themselves. Changing habits is difficult. Changing identity is even harder. Perhaps the biggest mistake people make is believing motivated people feel inspired every single day. They don't. Successful people experience boredom, frustration, self-doubt, and low motivation just like everyone else. The difference is that they continue taking small actions even after motivation disappears. Eventually, discipline replaces excitement, and consistency replaces inspiration. That's when real progress begins. The truth is, motivation was never designed to carry you all the way to your goal. Its job is simply to get you started. After that, your routines, your environment, your habits, and your identity determine whether you keep going. So the next time your excitement begins to fade, don't assume you've chosen the wrong goal. Ask yourself a better question. Am I waiting for motivation, or am I building consistency? Because the people who achieve extraordinary things aren't always the most motivated. They're the ones who continue long after the excitement is gone. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more fascinating insights into psychology and human behavior, don't forget to subscribe and join us for the next journey into the hidden workings of the human mind.